Hate to say it to ya, hate to break it to ya, but we ain't gon' make it cause this just ain't no true love. Yeah, we started out as friends, parked out in my Benz, and on my windows tint, so we start to get it in.
So my name is Eryn Mitchell. I'm from here. I'm from Los Angeles. I was born right down the street. I do everything. I do everything to try to be successful. So I created a web series. I have a web series creator, and I'm the host of that web series because it's all about my face. And then I also do stand-up comedy. In order to pay for all these endeavors, I do accounting. It's so sad. But yes, that's what I do in order to pay for. In order to pay for my passion, I have to do real work. It's sad. I have a web series, and its name is The LeZ Factor. Shameless plug. No, not shameless. Shameful. No, not even shameful. It's full of glee. Gleeful plug. The LeZ Factor. So, how did you get into that? Web series. It's interesting. I actually started doing stand-up, and as I met like other comedians, they were like, "Oh, I wrote a script. Oh, I did a web series. Oh, I did this." So I'm like, "What? You can do more than one thing?" And in order to get successful in one thing, you have to put a lot of irons in the fire. So, I just tried everything. So I've actually written a script, and then I was doing stand-up, and the girl was like, "You're really funny. Can you be in my web series?" I was like, "Sure." Then I was like, if she can do a web series, I can do a web series too. So then I taped hers on Saturday, and I had mine on Sunday. And that was the beginning of the LeZ Factor. I'd have to say everybody. Primarily I'd have to say my best friend and business partner. Everything that I've ever thought, like, maybe I couldn't do it. She's like, "Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You should do it. You should do it tomorrow. You can do it." And it's crazy because she goes above and beyond. She's like my support system. Anything I need to do, she's like, I'm there. That's actually how she ended up she's actually on my web series.
Oh, great.
7 months pregnant.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, somebody like canceled last minute, and we were on our way to taping. I was like, "So somebody canceled. So what are you doing?" She was like, "Driving you to your web series." I'm like, "So you want to be on now?" Yeah, she's like, "I'll be on." So I'm like, "Cool." 7 months pregnant. So it's like a pregnant stud, gay chick, big belly. She's the most popular face on my web series. If it wasn't for her, the page probably would not be as successful. People love her because she's gorgeous. Her name is Stacy Gallagher, and she has my god baby. That she had there, and but she pushes me forward in everything. Like, I've never had a friend like her ever before, but she pushes everything. She's my business partner. Is there a dream guest I would like to be on my show? Not really. I actually know a lot of people, so I plan on expanding. So we're going to be moving into Atlanta in the fall, hopefully. Yes, gotta go big or go home, right? Okay. And so I know a lot of people like in the gay community. Okay. I have a friend who writes songs. She has an album coming out, so hopefully she'll be on the list on the show. But she has an album coming out, so we'll see. I have another friend who's like really big in like the queer porn industry. So I've just met a lot of people. My life is crazy. The LeZ Factor, there's a lot of gays and lesbians in entertainment. So you see them in TV, you see them on talk shows, they're hosts and everything. But it's never like a lesbian of color, So I felt like the lesbians of color were being left out from the conversation. People feel like there's a stereotype, like all black lesbians are the same. It's like a girl and a boy looking one that looks like a boy, and I don't understand. So it's kind of like to get our opinions out there to let it know that we're not all the same. We're not your stereotype. We're just like everybody else. We're varied and different. So the premise is we talk about that. We talk about love and sex and just crazy things. Crazy things. Because lesbians are crazy. I'd have to say a lot of comedians. Well, the first person who told me I should try comedy was a friend of mine. Her name is Shantae Wayans.
Okay.
She does comedy. And one day she was like, "You're really funny. I think you should do comedy." And I was like, "I'm going to do comedy." Because I was like, I can try everything, And so then I went home and told my grandma, "I'm going to try comedy." Now, mind you, I'm an accountant. So my grandma was like, "You want to try what?" She's like, "I'm still paying $80,000 on your tuition. You want to do comedy, But I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "No, it's not good for you." I'm like, "Why not?" She was like, she's like, "You're really sensitive." I'm an Aquarius. Aquarians are known for being sensitive. Okay. And she's like, "I think if somebody booed you, you would cry." I'm like, "Well, she raised me. She knows the best. So, I'm not going to do it." Then one day, out of nowhere, literally, it was like a Thursday. I'm like, "I'm going to do comedy today. I'm going to try it," like 5 years later. And I did it. And I was like doing comedy for dollars. The club I was at was like a hood club. It's called the Family Room. And if people like you, they would throw tips on the stage at you like a stripper. And I did actually happen to strip that day, though, because I had like sweats and I stripped down to a dress and some heels. So I'm like, I don't know if they were paying me for my comedy or if they were paying me for my stripping. But either way, I had some money. So I was like picking it up like, yeah, it's all good. And then as I started doing comedy like every day, like going out, hitting up all the clubs, doing the open mics, comedians would tell me things like, "Oh, you did this, you did that," or "I did a web series." And literally, I'm like, I have great stories. I have great ideas. I've lived a crazy life. And it's funny because I don't know if I've lived a crazy life or I've just been next to a crazy life. I mean, I have lots of friends who do crazy things. You know, like I have a friend who does porn. She's like, Eryn, you want to come up and watch me do porn live? I'm like, sure, that sounds like fun. And then I got there, I'm like, is this what sex smells like? Like, I was like, this is terrible. I haven't looked at that friend the same since. So, just comedians, because comedians all are on their grind. Like, it is not like, oh, you're funny so you can get hit up. It's not like, oh, I'm funny to get stage time. It's, I'm funny, but I do editing, I do web series, I do promotion, I do writing, I do scripts, you know. So, just being in the company of other comedians, putting me in the direction of doing my own web series and actually getting my story told. I don't know about he's up and coming, but I met a comedian, his name was Ron G. Now, Ron G, he hosts the Laugh Factory on Sundays for Chocolate Sundays. And every time I would go to this place called Marty's, which is where like some comedians in LA go and you can like practice your jokes with just comedians, he would always give me a lot of feedback like, oh, you're talking too fast. That story's too long. You're funny, but slow down. Nobody can understand what you're saying. Like, I want to laugh at your jokes, but you're talking too fast. So even though he doesn't know me directly, like I don't have his number or anything, every time I saw him, he gave me creative input. So the last time I saw him was maybe a few months ago outside of the Laugh Factory. And he was like, I haven't seen you around. Where have you been? I'm like, man, I've been doing this 9 to 5 and I've just been really tired. He was like, doing what? I was like, accounting. He was like, I was in accounting. I had a 9 to 5. I still did it. You need to get on it. You're funny. Do it. So I really, you know, he's been an inspiration because he just, he pushes me every time I see him, even though he doesn't owe me anything. And comedians are all trying to get themselves to a point, so they're not really trying to help you. And he does all the time. He was like, get on your grind. A platform like this, I can appreciate. You know, anything I can do in order to talk to other people about my web series or people help them and we can help each other. I'm all about helping each other. Like on my web series, I try to have like lesbian editors, but I couldn't. Too many women on one set, not a good thing. Oh, a platform. So... So, you know, my thing is all about, I'm not trying to just get up by myself. Like, I want to elevate everybody. So, you guys starting a magazine, I'm starting a web series. Let's help each other out. Like, I'm all about Black unity. I just told my grandma the other day, I'm like, you know, the Asians, the Jews, everybody else seems to be able to help their community, except for us. We're like, oh, no, I'm not going to help you. But I'm like, no. You know, when I hired my editor for my last web series, my ad was like, I would like, you know, an editor, but if you're a person of color, that'd be great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about, you know, my community, whether it's a person of color, LGBT, whatever it is, I want to help each other. You know what I mean? Oh, all right. Where can you find me? Everywhere. No, if you go, like we're on Instagram a lot, but mainly if you go subscribe on YouTube to the LeZ Factor, that is our channel. That's where you find us. You know, I would first started out catering to lesbians, but really we answer a lot of questions that guys want to know too. Guys ask me questions all the time about lesbians because they have questions like, why do they date the butch ones? Why don't they just get a guy? FYI, I just kind of butch, but I have TNA and you do not. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then people like ask us about these titles and these labels and stuff. To be honest, we're just as confused as everybody else. When I meet a girl, she's like, oh, I'm like a bisexual, pansexual, sapiosexual, polyamorous, I'm like, what? What are you? Like, are you gay or straight? Like, I don't know what the rest of all these titles are. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, I find that even my male friends, they'll watch it and they'll be like, I didn't even know that. Like, it's enlightening for everybody. So I think it's a great way to get to know people. So on YouTube, the LeZ Factor, and Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Instagram, we're everywhere. So I am Eryn Mitchell, and you're watching Hollywood Elevator Magazine for the Artists on the Rise.
Hate to say it to ya, hate to break it to ya, but we ain't gon' make it cause this just ain't no true love. Yeah, we started out as friends, parked out in my Benz, and on my windows 10, so we started